On June 28, 1914, a 19-year-old boy walked into a deli to buy a sandwich. He was hungry, he was tired, and he believed his mission had failed. He had no idea that in the next 5 minutes, he would accidentally start a war that killed 20 million people. This is the true story of Gavrilo Princip, and it is one of the most insane coincidences in all of human history. To understand what happened that day, you need to understand the world Gavrilo Princip grew up in. He was born in 1894 in a tiny village in Bosnia. His family was poor. His father was a postman. He was one of 9 children, and 6 of his siblings died before reaching adulthood. From the moment he could think for himself, Gavrilo watched his homeland suffer under the control of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Bosnia had been annexed by Austria-Hungary in 1908, and the people there, many of whom were Serbian, felt humiliated, oppressed, and erased. Gavrilo was not a big person. He was frail, small, and frequently sick. When he tried to enlist in the military to fight for his people, they turned him away. He was too weak, too small, not soldier material. But what he lacked in physical strength, he made up for in rage. He moved to Belgrade, Serbia, where he fell in with radical nationalist circles, young men who believed that the only way to free the Balkans was through violence, through shock, through sacrifice. And that is where he was recruited into a secret organization known as the Black Hand. The Black Hand was one of the most dangerous underground movements in early 20th century Europe. Founded by Serbian military officers, their goal was simple: unite all South Slavic people and destroy Austro-Hungarian control over the Balkans by any means necessary. When they learned that Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, was planning a public visit to Sarajevo on June 28, 1914, they saw an opportunity. June 28th was not a random date. It was Vidovdan, St. Vitus Day, one of the most sacred dates in Serbian history, the anniversary of a devastating Serbian defeat in 1389. Scheduling a royal visit on that date felt like a deliberate insult to the Serbian people. The Black Hand assembled a team of 7 assassins, young men, most of them teenagers, armed with pistols and grenades. They were positioned along the Apel Quay, the main road the Archduke's motorcade would travel through Sarajevo. The plan was straightforward. If one assassin missed, the next one would act. 7 chances to kill one man. It seemed impossible to fail. They were wrong. June 28, 1914. The motorcade begins moving through the streets of Sarajevo. The first assassin sees the Archduke's open-topped car approaching. He freezes. Thousands of people are lining the streets. The moment passes. He does nothing. The second assassin loses his nerve as well. Then comes the third. A 19-year-old named Nedeljko Čabrinović. He doesn't freeze. He pulls out a grenade, knocks the detonator against a lamppost to arm it, and hurls it directly at the Archduke's car. The driver sees it coming and accelerates. The grenade bounces off the folded back roof of the car and explodes underneath the vehicle behind it, wounding several members of the Archduke's staff and injuring bystanders on the street. Chaos erupts. People are screaming. Smoke is everywhere. Čabrinović, believing he has failed, immediately swallows his cyanide capsule and leaps into the nearby river to escape. The cyanide was old, expired. It only made him violently ill. The river was 4 inches deep. He was dragged out of the water, vomiting, and arrested on the spot. The Archduke's motorcade speeds away towards City Hall. Franz Ferdinand is shaken, but alive. His white uniform has blood on it from the injured officers, but he himself is unharmed. The remaining assassins, confused and scattered by the chaos, melt into the crowd. The mission is over. They failed. At Sarajevo City Hall, Franz Ferdinand is furious. He stands up in front of the assembled officials and says, and I quote, "Mr. Mayor, I came here on a visit and I get bombs thrown at me. It is outrageous." His advisors beg him to leave the city immediately, to cancel the rest of the visit, to get somewhere safe. Franz Ferdinand refuses. He insists on visiting the officers who were wounded in the explosion. They were hurt because of him. He will not abandon them. A new route is planned to take him to the hospital. His security team decides to avoid the Appel Quay, where the attack happened, and take a different road. But nobody communicates this change to the lead driver. The motorcade sets off. The lead car turns onto the Appel Quay out of habit. The old route, the wrong route. General Oskar Potiorek, riding in the Archduke's car, realizes the mistake and shouts at the driver to stop. They need to turn around. They need to take Franz Josef Street to reach the hospital. The driver hits the brakes. The car stalls on Franz Josef Street, directly in front of Schiller's Delicatessen. Gavrilo Princip is standing outside that deli. After the failed assassination attempt, he had given up. He assumed the mission was over. He had wandered through the crowd, dazed and defeated, and ended up here just a few feet from the deli door, on a random street in Sarajevo. And then he looked up. Franz Ferdinand's car was sitting right in front of him, stalled, stationary. The Archduke and his wife Sophie were visible in the back seat, less than 5 feet away. Princip later said he did not even think. His body moved on its own. He stepped forward, he raised his pistol, and he fired twice. The first bullet struck Franz Ferdinand in the jugular vein. The second struck his wife Sophie in the abdomen. Princip was immediately seized by the crowd and beaten before police pulled him away. In the Archduke's car, the royal couple slumped against each other. Aides tried desperately to help them. Franz Ferdinand kept whispering the same words over and over. Sophie dear, don't die. Stay alive for our children." Sophie died before they reached the hospital. Franz Ferdinand died minutes later. It was 11:30 in the morning. What happened next unfolded with a speed and scale that nobody, not even the people who set it in motion, could have predicted. Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia for the assassination and issued a harsh ultimatum, a list of demands so extreme they were designed to be rejected. Serbia accepted most of them, but not all. It was enough. On July 28th, exactly 1 month after the assassination, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. And then the alliances kicked in. Russia had a treaty to protect Serbia. Russia began mobilizing its military. Germany had a treaty with Austria-Hungary. Germany declared war on Russia. France had a treaty with Russia. Germany declared war on France too. To reach France quickly, Germany needed to march through Belgium. Germany invaded Belgium. Britain had a treaty guaranteeing Belgian neutrality. Britain declared war on Germany. In 37 days, the assassination of one man in a stalled car had pulled 30 nations into a conflict that would consume the entire world. By the time the guns finally fell silent in November 1918, 20 million people were dead. 21 million more were wounded. Entire generations of young men had been wiped from the earth. 4 empires had collapsed. The map of the world had been redrawn entirely. And it had all started with a wrong turn. A stalled engine and a teenager standing outside a deli. Gavrilo Princip was 19 years old when he pulled the trigger. Under Austro-Hungarian law, you had to be 20 to receive the death penalty. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison instead. They kept him in a cold, damp cell in a fortress in Theresienstadt. His conditions were brutal. He was chained to a wall for long stretches. He received little food and almost no medical care. The tuberculosis he had suffered from since childhood grew worse rapidly in those conditions. He watched the war he had started consume the world from inside a prison cell. He received fragments of news about the battles, the millions dying, the empires crumbling. There is no clear record of whether he felt guilt. In some accounts, he expressed regret for the deaths of innocent people. In others, he maintained that he had acted for his people and his cause. What is documented is that by 1918, the disease had eaten away most of his body. He weighed under 40 kilograms. His arm had been amputated due to bone tuberculosis. On April 28, 1918, Gavrilo Princip died in his cell. He was 23 years old. The war he started ended 6 months later. He never saw it.